Emmerdale star Lisa Riley has confirmed she will remain part of the long-running series as her character Mandy Dingle gets ready to head back to the village. Riley recently stepped away from filming for a brief period, but Mandy's return to the Dales next week is expected to bring some dramatic twists. Riley, who originally took on the role of Mandy in 1995, also appeared on a recent season of I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, last November, and has since received plenty of new opportunities. In an interview with The Sun, Riley shared that she had been offered several exciting television projects, including work similar to the impression-style performances she did while in Australia. She also mentioned the possibility of collaborating again with a close colleague, provided it fits around her schedule on Emmerdale. Despite the growing number of offers, Riley made it clear that her loyalty remains with the soap. She explained that Emmerdale is where her passion lies and emphasized her appreciation for being part of the show. She added that she has recently signed a fresh one-year contract and would only consider additional projects if they can fit alongside her work on the series. When Mandy returns to the village next week, she will immediately face a tense situation involving police officers following the arrest of her father-in-law Bear, who has been linked to the death of Ray Walters. The situation quickly escalates as Paddy is also taken in by authorities, leaving Dylan and Marlon to reveal everything that has happened to Mandy. Riley explained that Mandy's comeback is far from quiet, noting that the character is thrown straight into chaos. She revealed that Paddy has been hiding major secrets, but once Mandy uncovers the truth, she steps firmly into a protective role. According to Riley, Mandy becomes determined to support both Paddy and Dylan, who she now treats like one of her own children. She said Mandy is prepared to do whatever it takes to keep them safe, even if that involves bending the truth, highlighting that her strong loyalty reflects her Dingle roots. Riley also described Mandy and Paddy's relationship as deeply loving, explaining that despite his mistakes and dishonesty, Mandy remains forgiving while still setting clear boundaries. She added that Mandy encourages honesty between them but is not afraid to warn Paddy if he crosses the line again. With Paddy potentially facing prison, fellow cast member Dominic Brunt described the storyline as intense and gripping to work on, noting that even the actors were often unsure of the direction the plot was taking. He explained that during filming, the cast sometimes struggled to determine what was true within the story, as the narrative frequently shifted perspectives and timelines. He added that watching the episodes come together on screen was satisfying, especially since the cast often found themselves laughing between scenes due to the confusion while filming. Emmerdale delivers a heartbreaking moment as Paddy prepares for what could be his final farewell. For several months, he has been battling to keep hidden the fact that he played a role in concealing Ray Walters' death, all while attempting to shield his father from a possible murder conviction. But the overwhelmed vet is finally reaching his breaking point. The situation began to fall apart when a sharp-eyed DS Walsh noticed a piece of rope inside the veterinary clinic, secretly snapped a photo, and later confronted Paddy with the claim that it matched the rope used on Ray's body. Paddy insisted that the rope was commonly used by many vets, but the coincidence seemed too strong given his personal connection to the case involving the drug dealer. As he tried to cover his own tracks, Paddy was also working to protect Bear, who had become increasingly unstable and had violated his bail by attacking Jacob in hospital before disappearing. In a desperate attempt to keep him out of custody, Paddy arranged for him to be admitted to a mental health unit. DS Walsh, however, warned that any improvement in Bear's condition would result in him being immediately taken back into custody, adding even more strain to Paddy. During another round of questioning, Bear is caught off guard when DS Walsh changes tactics, suggesting that his wrestling background meant he fully understood the consequences of his actions against Ray. Under intense pressure, Bear appears to snap and shouts that he deliberately killed Ray on his own. Although this supports their story, it creates serious consequences. Dominic Brunt explained that Paddy believes everything is falling apart and that prison now feels inevitable for all involved, adding that even telling the truth at this stage may not undo the damage caused by their long deception. With Bear now potentially facing life behind bars, Paddy is left feeling even more guilt and despair. He reflects on the months Bear spent imprisoned, the suffering he endured, and the trauma inflicted by Ray and Celia, which drives Paddy to finally admit his involvement in the cover-up. Dylan stands firmly beside him, promising support, while Mandy is devastated but urges them to be honest, believing it is the only way to move forward. Dominic shared that Mandy insists the truth should have been told from the beginning, although she fears losing the family bond they have built together. Determined to make things right, Paddy heads to the police station with Dylan, while Mandy is left to say an emotional goodbye, unsure of what lies ahead. However, their decision to confess does not bring relief. Instead, the situation worsens, as they are informed they will be charged with perverting the course of justice. Facing the possibility of prison, they are forced to rethink their strategy and search for a way out of the crisis. They realize that finding someone who can confirm Ray intended to harm Dylan could change everything, leading them to turn to Laurel Thomas, who was the last person to see Ray before his fatal encounter. Dominic hinted that Laurel might hold crucial information, suggesting that any supporting evidence could make a significant difference. But since she did not witness the actual incident, they may face a moral dilemma. Should they ask her to bend the truth to help Bear? And what happens if she refuses? Emmerdale featured Tracy Robinson's departure scenes as she set off on a new chapter beyond the village. After agreeing to an unexpected job opportunity from Cara Robinson, Tracy said her farewells to family and friends before leaving with her daughter Frankie by her side. The touching moments signaled the start of Amy Walsh's maternity leave in real life, following the recent arrival of her second baby with Toby Alexander Smith. In the episode, Tracy was shown gathering her remaining belongings while a saddened Vanessa Woodfield looked on. She admitted that difficult memories tied to the village had been weighing on her, and she felt the need to step away for some time. Vanessa responded with understanding, saying she respected Tracy's decision and hoped everything would turn out well, even though she wished she wasn't leaving. Later, as Tracy stood outside with her packed boxes, Eric Pollard approached to bid her farewell and offer his best wishes for the future. Tracy noted that he seemed more concerned than Kane and questioned where Frankie's grandfather was. At the same time, Kane and the Dingle family were caught up in a separate conflict with the Tates, who had heartlessly destroyed Holly Barton's memorial. When Kane eventually arrived to see Tracy off, he was devastated to find she had already left. However, Belle stepped in and explained everything, prompting Tracy to wait so Kane and Frankie could share a proper goodbye. Kane reassured Tracy that she was making the right decision and said Nate would be proud of her, offering words of encouragement during the emotional moment. He also promised to visit them at their new place once he had recovered from an upcoming operation, before they shared an emotional embrace. With that, Tracy and Frankie finally left the village, closing an emotional chapter. The series continues to air on weekday evenings at 8 p.m. on ITV1 and is also available for streaming on ITVX.